Okay, so this is about the dog and other things. I'm going to go on other topics about how to do things with my phone and shit, because I think it'll add to the conversation of my own head speaking to me on how to provide a video for somebody, which is right now the second. And one of them is I do videos, and we'll get into that later. But right now, and I'm going to explain how I do things a little more detailed if I can. I'm just going to try to wing it type of thing and see if you guys get it or not. I apologize. I'm a little haggard looking. I just took my hat off. I'm trying to look presentable. All right. So, because sometimes I feel like I'm not that presentable, and maybe there's too many bright lights in here. I don't know. Maybe we'll open this because I do. Lighting can be bad. Ask any director. Although I don't talk to directors. Okay, that there is to block a ray of sunlight that comes in right there. There's a giant ray of sunlight that comes in right there sometimes, and I have to put that up like that because it bothers the shit out of me. Let me turn this light off here. I just want white light today because it's yellow light isn't my favorite, okay? I mean, yellow light is definitely not my fucking favorite, all right? So, all right, so dogs, the chemistry that people have with their dogs, they don't, I mean, a lot of people will use the term, I hate to say it, but people are dumb, and they're not trying to hate on their neighbor, when they say that, but the truth of the matter is, think about it. Think about it. The things the dog requires, you don't really understand. So let's talk about it. Let me get this light up here. Let's get this out in the open, right? A dog does not necessarily disassociate from the human's needs just because you're not super close to the dog, but mentally, to get super close to a dog, to understand the dog a little more, even though my dog, this dog here, he's stubborn, he has a stubborn side, he just tries to break rules. That's all. He's good though, he's smart, he's just a male dog, and that's how a lot of male dogs are. Now the chemistry, sometimes you'll see your dog just looking at you, like when they're just kind of keeping an eye on you, like, what's this guy going to plan for my entertainment next? That's what's on a dog's mind at all times. So whenever you see a dog looking at your back and it looks sad, it's for that reason. It's like, hey, it's about a little late for a walk. And if you realize that with dogs, you'll understand that the chemistry has to be like that. And also, a dog will forgive you for not being super close to it all the time. But they may disassociate later in life if you don't show that you're 100% compliant on being there right there where the dog is. And that includes sleeping with your pets. And when I say sleeping with your pet, I'm saying this is therapy to a dog. It's also therapy to a human. When somebody brings their dog over to an old folks home to let them pet the dog, it's similar. It's not near as powerful. But the truth is, when you're laying near a being, even if it's a pet bear, there's a psychological connection when you do that. And what happens is the bear says, oh, well, this guy is totally not having an anxiety and about to try to bite me. And even a bear will think that, even though the human's small, the bear is always contemplating, is this ever going to go south with this person? And as long as you can sleep with your dog, right, Boo Boo? Five is his name, actually. His name is Five, but I call him Boo Boo because my cat was Boo Boo. And Boo Boo, I found, he's a stray cat. Took care of him 12 years, and I ain't going to lie, difficulties. I never got him spaded. My sister offered to pay with my money to spade, but I just blew it off. I didn't want to spend extra money on the spade. The cat was going to pee anyway. He was already a full-grown cat. Anyway, past that. So the dogs, he was difficult. Peed in everything I had. 12 years, though. I kept it alive for 12 years. It was already full-grown, so it was probably on its way out. Who knows? So I did have to get rid of that cat eventually. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, I did have to give it up because it had a litter, and I had to get rid of the litter. I was gonna move, and this happened all at a bad time, and I was like, you know what? And the cat peed on my floor wherever I live. So what am I gonna do? Keep the cat outside? So I said, I honestly didn't want to do it, but I had to say goodbye to that cat. It wasn't my option to grab the cat, and I tried to keep it in a happy way all its life that I had it. And that was it. I could not constantly deal with that. That was a bad time, because I was trying to help a cat, couldn't do it. All right, so let's get past this again, second time. I had to put it to sleep. I couldn't deal with that. You know, I don't want a chick or somebody to come over and smell cat piss in my house, man. And what am I going to do? Give it to someone else to piss on their floor? So, you know, there's the love for the animal, and then there's the conscientious decisions of everyday life you have to make. And that was one of them. It was a bad time for me when I had the cat because I didn't know what else to do for it. So I let it out on a leash, like, you know, so that it wouldn't run off and get lost again. I did what I could. And it was already a full-grown cat when I found it. I find cats in the street all the time dead because people don't know what to do. They just let it out thinking it's fine. No, they go 12, 13 miles, a little cat that big. If you let it out, expect your cat to be lost. And if it isn't lost or killed by a coyote, well, there you go. Now, I didn't do the right thing then because back then, I ain't going to lie, that was a bad time. I wasn't myself. I wasn't 100% me. I am a warlock by trade. I don't brag about too many things because I only work in select areas. Like people say, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that if you're a warlock? Because warlocks are limited on what they're allowed to do. A warlock is limited. He's not really, he's under guidance. They get energy from other fields, districts, zones of what is called hyper-reality. And those areas is how a warlock touches base. Now, he's not allowed to have too much, though, because it could be dangerous. So they keep them, you know, tame. But when I say they're another entity outside them. So everything that manipulates is a warlock. Things about people are easy to discern these things is when somebody has ADHD, a lot of times they single out one thing. Well, that's kind of like what a warlock does. I do have ADHD, and I do single out things. A neighbor, he's very much into his cars, so much so that that's all he wants to talk about. He's honed in so much that he thinks every time he mentions something new that he's got to talk to you for 15, 20 minutes. That's his gig, and he does it. He does it. Now, is he a cool person? Yes, he's a cool person. But, yeah, there's only so much car I can talk about. I don't know that. You know, I'm not into it. And I love women. So usually if I make a friend like that's a dude, you know, a guy, because I like women, I'll just have a couple friends, like two friends that are dudes that I smoke weed with or whatever. Any more than that, you know, what is it? Two's company, three's a crowd, right? You know, I don't like people all up in my grill. Anyway, I am kind of what do you call it? A, you know, hermit, but I'm a hermit that talks and walks and is happy to be social. I'm not afraid to be social, and I love being social. Actually, I don't want to be too social because, you know what, I this agenda of a YouTube channel is not that much inspiration, but if it ever did grow, it'd be great. In the meantime, so this is what I do when I manipulate shit. If I can find my phone. If I can find my fucking phone. Oh, there it is.
Hey everybody, Roger here from O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the top 10 winter emergency supplies.
No thanks. All right, we'll go to something here. I just want to show you some stuff. If you go to this stuff on your, you know, some of these apps, you can do all kinds of stuff. These ones are just a random bunch that I got in here. I got a voice changer, a voice changer, if you use that effect, I'll just give you a tip right now, guys, because I give away my secrets. I'm not a chef. I don't hide my ingredients, okay? I'm going to tell you exactly how you become a warlock. Manipulate everything you do. Manipulate, not necessarily from a decadent standpoint, obviously, no. That would make no sense, obviously, because decadent things usually fizzle out quickly. It's kind of like a firecracker with no oxygen. But anyway, in the meantime, yeah, I use different apps. One is called Audio Video Mixer. The other is called InShot. The other one's called X-Ray Effect Photo Editor. The other one's called DJ Video Maker. The other one's called Audio Extraction. Now, audio extraction I can use to manipulate. They can create, well, let's say you got a loop you're using in music. You can go and put one of those in that you made, slow it down, and you can cause a frequency change off from what the original song was. So I just kind of just ran into this one a bit ago because I do like to manipulate shit. So once I discovered that, I figured out, wow, I can sit here and make really expensive synthesizer sounds fucking with this shit. So now I'm onto something new. And that's what a warlock does. It's kind of like, you know, Warlock doesn't let too many things get in his way. It's a fucking one-way direction, and if he can make it happen, he will. Now, when I started out, obviously, just like anyone else, I wasn't that good at it. I actually had to develop an interest in it, by forcing myself to have lots of mistakes, and that's what I did. But in the meantime, I just fucking I do this shit, and now sometimes I'll shuffle the effects from whatever. Now a lot of the effects will try to trick you. Effects apps, you always say free this, free that when you're looking for them on the Play Store. In the meantime, the trick is to that. God damn, man, that fucking hair. All right. Oh, all right, whatever. All right. The trick is just make sure that none of the apps have any issues. Like some apps don't seem to be compatible with your phone. You just have to immediately install it. Other apps will, freeze up. Other apps will have glitches that are unacceptable. Now, other glitches might be a little more acceptable, like fatal error pops up. Sometimes it's only a minute second and then it disappears, and then all of a sudden the shit's ready to go through. So don't be impatient and think you just failed to try to process something. Depending on what app you're using, you have to figure what glitches are for real and what glitches are not for real. So far, InShot works pretty good, but now they charge for most of their effects, so an extra premium rate. So you're going to be slim to none on them. So I do use a lot of times their wave effect to kind of manipulate other manipulations, and I phase shift them over. So that's what I do. I phase shift over visual effects. I can get even more good at it. I just have to keep practicing. That's what a Warlock does. I'm out. Just want to give this video. Maybe I should just hang out for a second since I'm smoking weed. I need to show you that I love it. I love my weed. I'm not fucking ashamed of it. And I can only go 15 minutes, so we only got 4 minutes left. Anyway, so I only let it go 15 minutes. It's better to make my shit concise and talk kind of quick, but just try to make it accurate. So that's what a Warlock does. He doesn't overdrink. A Warlock never overdrinks. This has been in my house for 2 weeks, and I just decided to drink half of it a couple days ago, and I'm going to drink, I guess, the other half, maybe. I don't know. I had to get used to this. It's sweet. I forgot that Southern Comfort is sweet. Can you believe I forgot that Southern Comfort is sweet? But I did tell my doctor that because he doesn't need to know how interested I am to fucking drink. So I piss on his grave when he comes to try to extract thoughts from my brain, because that's another thing a Warlock does. People try to extract what your shit is. Kind of like somebody that wants to look under you to see how big your dick is. Like a chick wants to see how big your dick is. She's like imagining in her mind, is it that big or that big, That's what another thing a Warlock does. He takes clues, and now it doesn't mean I know what's going on with my money right now, because a Warlock only picks certain topics. He's one way. It's a one-way road. It's a Warlock road. So if you cross upon it, you won't even be able to use it unless you know how to be a Warlock. And manipulating things is the key. So let's take another hit. Shut up, Bella. She shut up for a split when I said that. Shut up. There's never a concern when I'm here, when that dog's barking. It's just barking at little things. It is a farm dog. I got to let it bark a little. Then I'll bring it in. That's just how it is. It's a farm dog. It has to bark a little. And also, to make a farm dog, before I finish here, to make a dog comply in a way that's not a normal training kind of compliance, you just have to, this is just to reinforce this. You got to actually sleep with your dog from time to time anyway, at least once every week or 2 times a week. Sleep all through with your dog. And that will make the dog feel that you are bonded to it even more, and he will have no sociological glitches later. Now, this dog here, I can push him away hard like that, and he still comes at me because he knows I love him. And you got to give the dog the confidence to be, that dog. And this dog is. He is very confident that I love him. And yeah, I apologize. I look a little haggard, guys. I do. Let me see if I can. That hair there. Yeah, that hair there needs to be broke the fuck up. All right. Oh, well. All right. Oh, God. All right, there we go. Did I fix it? Yeah, I think so. I'm just about out of time, but just remember this. If you want your dog to comply, make sure you stay in touch with it physically, mentally.